Welcome to Monopoly, Season 5, yet another episode. Today we are going to talk about cryptocurrency and how people can buy properties using crypto. Today we have Gunith De Silva, my very own brother. He has started a new venture which sounds like it's going to change the world. Welcome, Gunith.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Before we get into crypto, we always talk about Monopoly. We have been playing Monopoly as kids, and I think probably just both of us have played when no one is around because we were so addicted to it.
Yeah, I think I remember we used to play from during school holidays from morning till evening till next day. And I think you always want to be the bank manager where you can rob. And I always want to make sure I take the best properties. So I think, I think that would have been a great start for all of us who've basically we learned what is real estate at that very own age. I think that's for anyone who wants to get into real estate as a child, I think Monopoly is the stepping stone. I don't know whether you'll agree or not, but...
Yeah, I think so too. I was thinking to myself, that's probably the reason why that we are so passionate about property and now we are into property in big time.
I think whoever is on here has played Monopoly as a kid, as a child, and I think we still do play when we got some time.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I think it has evolved. You get all sort of Monopoly to, different Monopolies. But
different varieties, yes.
But it's still the same logic applies.
Yes.
Buy low, sell high.
Okay, talking about crypto.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the crypto community. I mean, what you're trying to do, I think it will be a game changer. But let's talk about where does this crypto community live and what do they do? Where do they live?
Yeah, I think crypto is becoming quite big because it's become talk of the town now because Bitcoin has hit AUD 100,000, more than $100,000.
Wow.
But it has been there for a long time, right? So if you look at, as at 2024 now, the number of users are 560 million users.
Whoa. Okay.
Across the globe, right? And over 172,300 users have already obtained more than 1 million USD worth of crypto in their wallets.
So they are the crypto millionaires.
They are the crypto millionaires, right? So this is as at 2024, right? So how the cycle works is it's a 4-year cycle, right? So the Bitcoin, basically you call it a halving. So we do the mining, to run the algorithm, you do the minings, and the users will get a wage, which they get it in tokens, Bitcoins. So it happens every 4 years. So that's why you see an upward cycle, and then a kind of a bottom, then it goes up. So the recent halving happened in 2024 in April. And that's why they are all talking about the next hike, which more likely it will happen somewhere around Feb to March, give or take. But that's if you look at the past 4 cycles, that has been there and it's been happening. So it's all determined by demand and supply. So talking about your question, so it's geographically, US is the market share, but we have seen a great trend towards the Asian countries, mainly Philippines, Indonesia, China has a very potential. Europe, UK has become a hub. Dubai, they're already into crypto. So it's all over the world. India has a very big market. Australia, as you know, there is already exchanges. You've got 2 main exchanges, the Independent Reserve and the CoinSpot, which are regulated by the Australian Reserve Bank. So it's out there. So it's a matter of time that people will eventually harness these opportunities. And that's where we saw a gap in real estate.
Yeah. So it's all over the world. And you said there were 4 cycles.
Yeah.
So when did it all start, all this crypto or the Bitcoin?
So it all started the person who is anonymous who created this Bitcoin called Satoshi, right? So it's a white paper which has been developed by a user, which no one knows who that person is. But what it does is it basically has a circulation of tokens, which is 21 million. And right now, Bitcoin, I think it has utilized more than 19 million coins, or almost 20 million coins. So it does talk about the deflationary value of the currency. It's all over the world, right? So if you take the US dollars, everyone prints the dollars. Even here, people print the money. So what happens is the currency, it deflates, right? So crypto is kind of a mechanism where it basically looks at all these aspects and helps users to purchase assets. In that case, you might ask, okay, what will happen? Okay, one day the Bitcoin is 90,000, then next day it drops to 60,000, right? So then you must ask, okay, so where's the stability? The stability lies between, as I mentioned, it's all market segments and stuff like that. But also, we looked at the volatility of the market. Then we see what are the potential assets that we can leverage to, right? So one aspect is real estate. And what the gurus or anyone has been talking is different cycles of different things. So you have the NFT, which they're talking about in 2017, 2018. Then it went to meme cycle. So, you get any cycle, you have something.
This has been going on for the past 10 years, I think?
I think it has been going for the last 10, 12 years, right? So I think people who have been there since because I was given the exposure in 2012. Someone asked me whether you want to buy a Bitcoin for $1,000. So I was like, what the hell is this? But if I had bought one Bitcoin or two Bitcoins, I would be in a totally different state. But I started in 2019, so where I started as a retail investor. Then eventually I kind of accumulated a substantial portion of assets.
Yeah.
Then it started. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah, and I know you guys went for a lot of conferences in Singapore to Tokyo to South Korea and Bali, I think.
Yeah.
So what sort of a demand did you see, and what are the guys saying about what is their sentiment towards buying a property, which is a physical asset, through crypto?
Okay, before going to that, as you may be aware that there have been use cases where people buy virtual lands, virtual art. So there's a famous art called Beeble, which was sold for nearly $27 million just on the internet. So likewise, so people have so these are called real world assets, right? So it's called RWA. So that has been the trend. So everywhere we go, so we started our journey in Bali, then went to Tokyo, to Korea, and to Singapore. So in all these conferences, the main topic has been RWA, real world assets. So it doesn't mean that it's only like real estate, but it could be commodities, it could be anything which has a real use case. So real estate metaverse, that's the company that we have, remeta.ai. What we saw was a huge gap in the real estate market where people have a lot of cryptocurrencies and they need to do a divestment. So what they do is basically they go and buy a piece of digital art or a virtual land. Give a good example is Adidas. They do have a virtual store in metaverse called Sandbox. It's called Adiverse. So you can buy a virtual pair of shoes as well as you could buy the same physical shoe as well. So people are more towards in the meta world. So Facebook changed the world name to Meta because they would have seen something big happening. So likewise, this has been slowly evolving. But as Australians, we don't talk about it much because we are not exposed to these kind of things. But if you go to the Europe, Dubai, US, it's all over the world. So metaverse is not a big thing. So what we have done is we have created a opportunity for all the crypto investors to invest in Australian property, where you can come into a platform, you can see the properties, and you could see it in a metaverse feeling. So what I mean metaverse feeling is you basically sit on a laptop or an iPad or on a phone, you go through you see the house as it is. So you don't need to wear an Oculus. If you want, the feature is already there. Then you could see it. You could actually see what my property will look like. So this is an opportunity not for a crypto investor, but for any overseas buyer, because the platform will give immense technology. It has an AI-driven features which basically tracks the trends, the market trends, the appreciation, the suburb profile, the suburb analytics. Whatever we do in a real estate environment physically, you can see it online.
Right. Okay.
So that's what it is. So,
and so I mean, buying a physical asset is always good, and people will feel comfortable about it. But what is the crypto community used to? As you said, is it buying digital art and digital stuff like that?
The crypto community, what they use is they want to accumulate the tokens, right? So when they accumulate, what happens is there is kind of a volatility in the market. So what we have seen is in terms of minimizing the volatility, what we are encouraging them to is to buy physical real estate, which are appreciating in value. So let's say they got 100 Bitcoins in their wallet, right? So which is about $10 million. So whereas what we mostly do is they would basically wait till a bottom hits, then they purchase again, then they'll accumulate. Whereas what we have seen is the trend is more towards buying physical assets now using crypto. So it could be a real estate or a condominium. So this has been currently happening in US quite a lot, and in Europe. And here it has not been given much prominence. But most of the investors buy real estate in Australia because of the massive appreciation. So we saw that as a tremendous gap. And then we built this platform, which is basically helps the users to buy real estate using their crypto.
Yeah. And as you said, I mean, the crypto community wants to accumulate their coins or their wallet, right? And then that's their net worth. So if we ask the question why they would buy a physical property, is that based on the feedback, or what are your thoughts on why would they actually buy a property using their...
Mainly because of divestment, right? So they don't want to keep one asset class in their wallet. So they don't want the digital thing. So they have been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
They want to do a diversification. So whilst keeping their asset in their digital space, what we are doing is we are promoting them to buy physical assets which will appreciate.
Yeah.
Then they can sell that property and again use that in their wallets. So doing a bit of a technical thing is what we are doing is we are tokenizing the real estate, the physical asset.
Okay.
So when I say tokenizing, it's nothing huge. What we are getting you got the standard contract of sale or the deed. We are getting the metadata and we are putting it in a digital certificate. So what does that mean to an investor? So it's basically security. So it doesn't get lost. So you don't need to have a physical copy or anything like that. So it's in your digital wallet. You can store it in your cloud space. So that's number one is security. And when you say tokenizing, when you sell the property back, you can either straight away put it back to your crypto wallet, or else you can reissue it to another investor. So that's the beauty of it. We have basically compartmentalized this into 4 segments, which I don't want to go into detail, but That's how we have planned to stabilize the REM token. So that's the token that we have launched. So using these tokens, they will buy these properties, and the property will go up in value, and they can sell that property, and they can put it back to their portfolio, or they can reinvest in another property.
Yeah. And so if we think from a layman's term, what it does is this portal, Propertyverse, will allow a crypto investor to buy a physical property.
Yeah.
And the advantage for a seller or a developer would be they can host these properties on the platform where they have access to not only overseas buyers, but also the crypto buyers for them to come and buy through the portal using their cryptocurrency. That's
exactly. So just to give a bit deeper meaning of that, the portal will have the stock. So whatever the grid provide as stock is already been developed there.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that is, the pain of getting a FIRB application through, right? So we have streamlined that process as well. So we have made it such an easy process, and any investor can go to the portal, go through the process, purchase the property. So how I'll explain how it works. So in the portal, you can see the property. Before that, you can see the statistics through from artificial intelligence. You see the suburb analysis. It will give you a good, deeper meaning to an investor what this particular suburb means, how the appreciation works, how much it has grown in the past 5 to 10 years, what are the rental yields, all the statistics that they need to purchase an investment property would be there. So based from those stats, they would select a property. They say, okay, I'm going to select an apartment in Melbourne, or a house in Adelaide, or a house in Perth. Then they select that property. It comes to a payment gateway, which if they use in crypto, it will convert, it will ask them to process that payment. It will go to a wallet. From the wallet, it will straight away convert them to AUD through our platform to a trust account to a solicitor. So from the solicitor, they will put that to the developer, and same thing, the settlement will happen.
Yeah.
And the FIRB process, it's also automated. So they can log into the FIRB, the government portals, all the details are already given. So you don't need to kind of handhold someone to do, log in this. It will be given, there'll be introductory videos, how to do it, so it's kind of a helping tool as well to any audience. It doesn't have to be a crypto investor as well. And the beauty of the other platform is, we not only work on crypto, we also work on other fiat currencies. So we got capability to convert from fiat to fiat as well. So if you got an investor who has got...
What is fiat?
Okay, fiat is other normal currency like AUD, USD, euros. So what we have done is we have signed up with a very reputed company who kind of does the offboarding of currencies, right? So off-ramping. So if you got, let's say, USDT, which is equivalent to USD crypto, US dollar value, the crypto version is called USDT. You can come to a portal, convert that to AUD, purchase the property. Let's say you have euros. You want interchange to AUD, you can, but you need to buy a property. So that will convert to AUD and you can purchase the property. So this kind of thing is, I don't know whether it's available in market, but it's kind of, we've been told we are the first to get into.
I'm sure it is the first. So if someone has USDs, can they also convert that into crypto and then buy the property?
Yeah, that's the wish. So a person who has USD, they can always do the transaction. Any bank will accept that. But the beauty of this, because of the rapport and the relationship that we have built with these partners, we have been able to convert off-ramp these other currencies as well.
Yeah.
So along with that, so we are building a big community as well. So with that company, there's a huge about 20 million users who have already onboarded with them. So the whole community is joining with us as well. So that's a big win for our REM token.
That's awesome. So if you look at... if you look at it from a developer's or a seller's point of view,
Yeah.
this is just opening up a whole new platform, whole new set of buyers,
Yeah.
as opposed to your standard local or a country-specific
Yeah.
buyer or even an
Yeah.
international buyer, because it's another stream of investors who's
It is, because if you look at the current statistics, right? So it's about $185 billion industry, this real world asset class, right? And it has grown by 8%. And I've just got a quotation from McKinsey and Company, which was done in 2024. They expect the RWA, the real world asset, the real estate tokenization, to go to $2 trillion market capitalization by 2030. That's a bit of a conservative figure. Whereas BCG Group, Boston Consulting Group, they're expecting it to grow to $16 trillion industry by 2030.
wow.
So there's so much, and what they say is the crypto market capitalization as at today is $2.3 trillion. So they expect by 2030 to go to $10 trillion, which they would basically even reach that milestone before that. But if you look at 40% of that, which is the current market capitalization of real world assets, you're looking at about $4 trillion.
That's huge.
So that's the potential that we got as an Australian-based entity. A lot of like overseas investors are investing in property, but you need to also think of the fact that there are nearly 200,000 crypto millionaires who are looking to invest in these kind of properties.
Yeah.
And that's a huge potential to any developer or any seller in Australia who would want to open up.
Yeah. And one of the main concerns investor who's just on the fence of investing crypto is the volatility.
Yeah.
And this eliminates that, because when you invest in crypto, you're diversifying yourself in another asset class.
Yeah.
Then you're buying back physical assets, which removes the volatility of it.
Yes. So that's a beauty, right? So let's say you got $1 million in crypto, and sometimes, as I mentioned earlier, you can go down to 500,000. But if you diversify that into a property, as you can see that in trend, last 35 years, it has grown average of 7%. Right?
Yeah.
So properties, if you invest it doesn't depreciate, it always appreciate. So even if you diversify 300,000 out of it, it's guaranteed that it will go to 500 or 800,000 in the next 5 years.
Correct.
And the other aspect is what we are doing is we are making real estate become more accessible and affordable. So what I mean is, I mentioned about tokenizing, right? So our next step is basically we are making investors to buy affordable properties using something called fractionalization. So what does that mean is you fraction your property into 10 units. Let's say 1 million, you ask a buyer to buy 100,000. So you buy that through the tokens. So, so they get the tokens value. So it's like a share kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So property will appreciate, the share will appreciate. The good thing is you can sell that share to another party. So if you buy it, you can sell it to me.
Yeah.
So you can sell it for $105,000.
But from the owners or the owner's point of view or the seller's point of view, they might have 10, 20 buyers, but end of the day, they sell the property.
They sell the property.
And once that is sold for, let's say, 10 people, that fraction can be sold to anyone. And the seller doesn't have to worry about it. He gets his money.
He gets his money. The person who owns the tokens, the REM tokens, the REM tokens will go up. So he'll be happy and seller will be happy. And I think that will be a game changer.
That definitely will be. So yeah, that's the next question I want to ask about fractional ownership. So that fractional ownership is only for the crypto community.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything else because there is a separate protocol, which I don't want to go into details. So the protocol is called ERC 3643.
Yeah.
So that with the current, because it's all written in the blockchain smart contract, right? So with this protocol, you can change the name to another user. So I
It's
had
like the transfer of ownership.
It's a transfer of ownership. Whereas in the standard ERC20 smart contract, you can't transfer because it's like gold proof, right? You can't do anything.
So say there's an apartment
Yeah.
for sale for $1 million.
Yeah.
There'll be 10 people, 100,000 each.
Yeah,
And each of these people will get a contract for that fractional ownership.
that's right.
Yeah.
So that
And then that can be sold back
To
used- to another. Okay.
So I had the luxury of meeting the person who wrote this thing, and when we also our CEOs Callum and Kaz, the CEO, when we spoke of it, he was quite stunned to listen to our story. So then we actually got involved and registered in that organization. So they're also helping us to do this kind of literature and doing the white papers. So that's kind of phase 2 that we are doing, but phase 1 is basically opening up this to all the crypto investors to purchase properties using a smart, latest technology platform.
Amazing. And also you said you're already in touch with banks like in Bermuda, Middle East,
Yeah.
in the Europe, who has a lot of crypto investors. And we are putting out the properties out to them as well to buy through their crypto
So we
funds.
got some really good feedback and some good relationships with the Puerto Rican bank, the Dominican Republic banks, banks from Portugal, from European banks. There are a lot of institutions who because when we traveled, we met a lot of these potential investors and institutions. And when we spoke of they were like, okay, when can we bring our clients in? So that's a very good win for us, and also win for the project and for the token. And also we don't want to get everything in one go, so that's why we kind of staggered this project into a roadmap and put it into all those things in phases. So first step is get the retail investors and the institutions to purchase properties using the existing crypto.
Yeah.
Then we are going to go into the fractionalization, another part.
Right. What's the future for crypto along with property in the next 10 years? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, I think, based on the stats here in Australia, I think there'll be a big storm which will come through the crypto whales. And I think we are just a start. I think a lot of people will follow us based on the stats and the figures that we see. I personally see $4 trillion industry is quite doable. And out of that, if you look at the Australian market, hitting at least 1 trillion is quite easy.
Yeah.
So that's the future. And I'm pretty sure it will hit in the next 4 to nearly maximum 5 years. This will get exhausted.
Right. Very exciting times. There you go. This is how you can buy physical assets, physical real estate through cryptocurrency. Real estate metaverse is the place to go to, or the portal to go to when you want to buy physical assets using your crypto. Watch this space. And amazing things are just about to happen.